Hello and welcome to Little Drops of Wonderful. This is my podcast to talk about all things crochet and knitting and crafty related, all of the lovely good crafty stuff that I enjoy. And this is my February wrap up where I'm going to catch you up on everything that I managed to get made and done or faffed about with in February, and what my plans are and just what's generally going on in my making life. My name is Ali. I live in the very southeast of England with my husband and my two daughters. Nobody's here except for me. It is 8:30 in the morning. There were kids still walking past going to school. I never film this early, but the light is great, even though it's a really dull day. I think because we're getting, well, it's March now. It's as I'm filming, it's Wednesday the 6th of March. So the clocks will be going forward at the end of this month. And I think it's just a lot better light in the morning. So I thought, right, let's stick the camera on, even though I'm not quite ready, and get filming. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Starry Eyes Ali. Although I haven't really been using my Starry Eyes Ali Instagram much recently. I've got another Instagram where I post about my walking and stuff, which is Alison Wondersland. And I tend to post on there just about, I don't know, muddy puddles and trainers and walking and stuff like that. So Ravelry I'm on as well. I'm rambling about nothing, and everything else you need to know is in the description box underneath, along with chapters if you want to jump to any particular bit or jump back or find something later. And I also do really extensive show notes about everything that I talk about. And that's everything I need to say to begin with. I'm going to have a sip of my tea. I'm trying to be better at not stopping and starting all the time and just ploughing through, even though I feel like I've just said something really nerdish or awkward, or I've used the wrong word because nerdish wasn't the right word. Dorky, that was the word I was thinking of. Right, so I've got a brand new podcasting notebook. This is my third or fourth one of these that I've got through now. So we're on episode 110. Can't believe it. It never gets any, I never feel like I've ever done it before. The moment I sit down to film, I sort of forget everything. You'd think after 110 episodes and many, many hundreds more videos that I might actually have an inkling of what I'm doing, but no. So we're going to have a chat about things I finished in February. I have finished 3 things in February. Some of the stuff that I've progressed in February. I've made some good progress on a couple of things. So I'm excited to show you that. I'm going to talk about Serious Readers as well because they're sponsoring this video, but I'll get to that later. I've got some winners to draw for the Cosy Blanket Along, which finished last week. I ran that with my friend Shorty over at the Ollie and Bella podcast. It was lovely. It was one of the reasons I got one of my projects progressed so much. And I've got some prizes to draw for that, and I've got an unexpected extra prize, so that's good. And then I want to tell you about the next incoming make along. So you'll have to stay tuned for that. And I've got some brilliant patterns to talk about that have come onto my radar, and then a few bits to tidy up at the end, including some redrawing of some prizes for the Strictly Sock Along. So if you joined in with the Strictly Sock Along, or you've joined in with the Cosy Blanket Along, Cosy Winter Blanket Along, then definitely stay tuned because you might have won a prize. I think that's everything I want to say. I'm going to need another sip of my tea. It's my second cup of tea of the day, but I feel like I've earned it already. Dan is not here because he's away with Lilia. They'll be back later this evening because she's got another audition, her final audition today. If you have not been watching if this is your first video ever, then welcome. And I hope you like what you find here. But if you've been watching for a while, you will probably have picked up that my eldest daughter, Lilia, who is going to university at the end of this year, has been applying for and auditioning for university places because she is going to be studying acting. So she is away at an audition at a drama school today, and Dan has taken her, which is brilliant because I've done all the rest of them really, and I'm fed up with driving around. And not only that, but March is a really big month in our family because we've got loads of birthdays. It's Dan's birthday on the 25th, and Lilia, who I've just mentioned, turns 18 on Easter Sunday, on the very last day of the month. She is going to be a fully grown adult. We have somehow managed to grow a baby and get her to the point of being an adult and being able to vote and drive and drink alcohol and make her own decisions and go to university and live independently. And we've somehow managed to do that without anyone noticing that we had no idea what we were doing. So that feels like a win. Oh, and also something else very exciting. By the time you are watching this, it'll be Sunday the 10th of March. It might be after that, but this is going up on Sunday the 10th of March. So as I am talking, I will be driving back from the East Anglia Yarn Festival. I'm so excited about it. Dan and I went last year just for the day, but this year we're going to stay overnight and we've got tickets for the weekend. Dan is not a knitter or anything like that. He has knit a hat. He just needs to finish it. In fact, he does want to try and finish it for the weekend. So maybe that will happen. Maybe it won't. I'm not sure. But he's coming with me because he's a very sociable person and he just enjoys it. And yeah, so we're going together. We're staying overnight and it's going to be brilliant. So watch out next week because there will be a vlog all about our weekend away at the East Anglia Yarn Festival. And that should be lots of fun. And I've been talking for 7 minutes and I haven't even got to the good stuff yet. Right, one more golf tea and then let's get into finished objects. Oh, do you know what? I think I've left my first thing that I finished in February upstairs. I've left all of them upstairs. One moment. Okay. This is what happens when I decide to just go for it and think that I'm in any way prepared. So my first finished thing that I finished in February, which may look suspiciously like one of the things I finished in January that I shared last time, are my second pair of cotton and bamboo socks, but I made these into shorties. So I think I did, let's get my little notebook. Ooh. So for these ones, I cast on 56 stitches. I am quite a loose knitter and I do tend to knit my socks on 56. The first pair of these that I made, I knit them 60 stitches because I didn't know how the cotton and bamboo yarn would behave. The yarn is King Cole Summer 4-ply. I've stuck the label in there. And the colour is, what was the colour? Onyx? 4567 Onyx, yeah. And it is 55% bamboo, 37% cotton and 8% PBT, which I think I've said before, I think is a type of nylon. So it's perfect for socks. And the other pair that I finished last time, I wore for a good 4 days on the trot, because I always wear my hand knit socks for more than a day or two, because they just don't seem to need washing. Do you find that with your hand knit socks? They don't smell, they don't feel unclean or anything, so you get more wear out of them, which I suppose overall is better, isn't it, for the environment? She's using less water. I don't know what I'm talking about. So anyway, they wore really well, but I did feel that they were a bit too loose. So these are on 56 stitches and the leg is only 8 rounds. Again, they are sisters, not twins. I just started wherever I was in the ball, top down. I did knit one, purl one, twisted. I did 1 by 1 twisted rib for 14 rounds, then 8 rounds for the leg. Then I just did a standard heel flap and gusset with the heel flap being a garter edge slip stitch heel, which I really find I'm enjoying, where you've got the little garter stitch that runs down both sides of the heel. And yeah, umbrella toe by Kay Jones, which is my favourite toe, and I'm really happy with them. I am tempted to get some more of this yarn and do them on 2mm needles to make them even snugger, because I do like my socks to fit snugly. I usually knit on 2.25mm needles. And After 2 pairs of socks, and granted neither of them were particularly long in the leg, I had remaining 16 grams of the yarn from 2 pairs, and I checked and I think it cost me like £5.40 or something for the ball of yarn. So that is amazing value. 2 pairs of socks for £5.40. Lovely pattern. They do it in all kinds of different colours as well. So yeah, really like that yarn. Would definitely use it again. If I saw it in another colourway, I would definitely buy some to make some more socks, and I would like to try and make some with 2mm needles in the future. You would have seen these as well if you watched my last video, which was my making week video, which I'm really enjoying making those, and thank you so much for all the comments that you gave me and all the enthusiasm for those videos. I think I'm going to keep doing those every month. I just film a week in my life and see what I can get made and how I can fit it in with whatever's going on in my life in that week, and I'm really enjoying making those. It kind of motivates me and helps me to focus on what I want to get done. So those are my vanilla socks, cotton and bamboo. My next thing that I finished, let me just adjust. I feel like I'm not quite upright. There we go. That's better. Last time I showed you, I think, what I described as the world's smallest work in progress. I had a tiny, I think it was like 4 or 5 stitches, tiny little triangle, and I was making it out of yarn by Eldenwood Craft. So Emma at Eldenwood Craft, I would have spent the weekend with by the time this goes live, because she is she's doing her first ever show at the East Anglia Yarn Festival, and she's going to be there selling her amazing handmade bags, but she has also ventured into yarn dyeing as well. So when she released her first batch of hand dyed yarns, I went and purchased a couple of skeins, one of which is a sock set, which I haven't knit up or crocheted up yet, and the other one was this one, I've only got this left, which is called Early Snow. It's a 4-ply fingering weight sock yarn, and I wanted to make something that I could wear to the East Anglia Yarn Festival and show off to Emma and surprise her by having something made in her brand new hand dyed yarn. That seemed like a really long explanation for I made something out of Emma's yarn so I can show her. I love it so much. Oh, I cannot recommend this pattern highly enough. I've made it before. Let me go and get the other one. You would have seen it a million times if you watched any of my vlogs that have been filmed when it's a bit cold. I made this years ago. This is my original one. This is in yarn by Betsy Makes, and she doesn't dye yarn anymore. And she doesn't podcast anymore either, but she's still on Instagram. It's the Moonlit Shawl, and it's by Sandra Paul of the Cherry Heart podcast. And I love it because it just fits perfectly. See where it just goes there, so you can just pop it on, wrap it round, put your coat on, and you are snug and warm. I wear this all the time. I've worn it all this winter. So I thought, I want another one, so I've made another one. And it's such a lovely make. I'm going to make more of these. And it's made me think actually about a video I'm going to do. I've had an idea about a video about, no, I won't say, I'll keep it a surprise. But it's given me some inspiration. You knit it from end to end. So you start with your tiny little triangle and you work, you increase to the middle, and then you decrease to the other end. And then you add your lacy border. You see, lacy border to the edge there. Let me show you on the pink one as well, because it's slightly less variegated. Oh, it's so lovely. I haven't actually, I've blocked it and everything. I haven't actually tried it on, but when I was blocking it, I had the sense it was a little bit longer. Actually putting it on, I can tell already that is complete nonsense. Oh yeah, no, it is a bit. It's a little bit longer. It might just be because the pink one has kind of relaxed a little bit now. Mind you, I did wash it recently. Oh, it's just so lovely. Look at this. I'm going to wear this and show it off to Emma How lovely is that? Oh, I love the colours so much. When Phoebe, my youngest daughter, saw it, she said it reminded her of cottage pie. She meant it in a lovely way because it's her favourite thing. But I can see what she means by the meat and carrots. We normally have it with broccoli. But it's called Early Snow, and you can see why. It's got all the lovely kind of woodland colours with that lovely kind of grey smattering of snow on it. And I love how it's worked up in this pattern. Oh, and the yarn itself is so soft, so lovely. I love it so much. I used a 3.5mm hook. It's a paid for pattern. I will link it underneath. I am going to make another one soon because I so enjoyed making it. It was a nice, easy, once you get into the rhythm of it, lovely project. It was a quick project. I'm quite time poor and I'm quite slow. So for me to get this made in 4 weeks is, as well as other stuff, is brilliant. So I am going to be wearing that. I will have worn it this weekend at the East Anglia Yarn Festival. Put that down there. So yeah, and out of a whole single skein, 100-gram skein of fingering weight 4 ply, I've got this left, which I think I've weighed so I can tell you. 7 grams. 7 grams remaining to go into my scrappy blanket. And that's amazing, isn't it? So if you've got that precious single skein of yarn and you're like, what can I do to show it off so it's not just socks on my feet? That is the perfect project. And finally, I made another octo. You might remember from last time. I can't remember if it had facial features last time. I know I'd put the eyes on, but I can't remember if I'd done the fabulous eyelashes or not. So make sure that's in shot. It can be my little podcast companion. But of course, I had to make a friend as well. Now this one has not got any facial features yet, but we'll have some eyelashes and I might make a little flower and we'll have a little mouth and so on. And this is made with the same Flutterby yarn by Jane, oh, I can't remember the name of the maker of it, James C. Brett, Flutterby yarn. It's a really chunky, soft chenille yarn that I had used in another project and I had some left. I've now used all of it and I held it double with just some cotton. I've got loads of lovely cotton yarn in my stash. I just held it with some yellow for this one. And I've made another octo. I love making these, and the soft chenille yarn is just the perfect thing because it's so squishable. And this is a pattern by the Dabbling Hook, lovely Rel. At the Dabbling Hook, it's her kind of signature pattern, I would say. Whenever she has leftover yarns, you'll often see her making a quick octo, and she does them for all different seasons, and they're so quick to make. They're no-sew, so you make the body of it, and then you add the legs, but there's no sewing involved other than sewing in a couple of ends. It's really easy. Cannot recommend it highly enough. You can make it in any weight yarn and they're adorable. Okay, things that I progressed in the month of February. I think the biggest amount of progress I made was on the blanket that I am making for my eldest daughter Lilia. She chose the colours for this because I wanted to make her a blanket for her to take away to university. So I'm making it with Starcraft Special DK because I wanted to use a really easy to care for, soft, easily washable, durable acrylic yarn, because she is not going to be hand washing things and this is going to get abused. So, and it's the Sun Gold blanket, which is a free pattern by Lucy at Attic24. It's the one she released at the beginning of this year and I am loving it. I've got it down now in my head. I can do it without referring to the pattern. I can pick it up and just know what I'm doing now. It's a really easy 2-row repeat and I am doing 2 rows of each colour. So every time I join a new colour, I start the repeat and then do the second row, cut it off and add my next colour. And here it is. I'm not just repeating the same colour sequence. So I have worked out a colour sequence that I'm very happy with. That is, I've written it down. So it's 5 sequence repeats. So the first one, for example, goes khaki, gingerbread, grape, walnut, copper, and then the next repeat goes gingerbread, khaki, grape, walnut, copper, and so on and so on. So I've got 5, and I'm just going to work that. So it's not just going to be 5 colours, 5 colours, 5 colours in the same order. I just wanted to mix it up a bit. And I wasn't sure how that would work, but it's worked really well. So when I spoke to you last, I put a little marker in at the end. So I've got my little gummy bear. Don't know if that's focusing or not. It's so cute. Looks like you could eat it. Looks yummy. So I've made all this progress above the gummy bear. So that is, how many rows? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24 rows, which is really good because it's long. Or wide, I should say. I'm really pleased with that. So I've done a full set of 5 colour sequence repeats and then another one, bar 2 rows. And I've really been enjoying watching this. No, working on it. Really pleased. The colours, in case you're interested, are, let's go to the bottom. So the green here at the bottom, khaki, gingerbread, grape, walnut, copper. And these colours were chosen by Lilia. She wanted a very specific kind of feel to it. She wanted really autumnal dark colours. And these are not colours I would have chosen at all, but I think she's done such a lovely job of those colours. I just think they look lovely together. So it's really interesting sometimes when someone else wants to choose what they love in terms of colour. It really opens your eyes to new things. It's easy to get stuck in a rut with things that you think you prefer without actually realising that there are other options out there that can be pleasing and fun to work on, especially as she chose it. I feel like I'm really working on something for her. Yeah, I'm hoping to have it done by her birthday. I'd have to put a lot of effort into getting it done in 3 weeks though. So, but it's more of a university going away present than a birthday present, but it would be nice to have it done. What else did I make progress on? Oh yes, so I had one single hexagon to show you last time. Oh, I had so many comments about my bag for this. So it's living in this bag. I love it so much. Every time I open it, I smile. I love this bag so much. So it's by This Lizzie Sews. And I had quite a few questions in the comments about where to go to find them. So she's on Facebook, and I will link underneath in the description box her Facebook page, and it's also linked underneath the last one as well. But I did try to respond to comments and put the link in the comments as well for anyone that missed it. So, and what makes it so special is, well, not only is it fabulous and it just looks amazing, but it's got a rigid frame at the top here. So when you unzip it, it becomes almost like a bucket. Oh, I love it. So you can open it right up and see everything that's going on, see where you've dropped your hook, see where that stitch marker's gone and so on. I absolutely love it, and I love this project. So, as I mentioned at the beginning, we have been running the Cosy Winter Blanket Along. It's the second time we've done it. We haven't done it every year, but it's a really, really chilled and relaxed make along where we're just encouraging everyone to make blankets in January and February, when perhaps the post-Christmas, post-holiday feelings are there and it's dark and spring seems a long way away. And I know, you know, I'm a winter person, but I know that the majority of people just really love the thought of spring coming. And I have to say, even though I love winter, I do love spring. I am a spring baby. My birthday is in April, so of course I love it. And it was just, it's a way of just embracing those colder, darker evenings and days and just snuggling up, really. So as part of that, I've been making Lilia's blanket, but I also started a year-long blanket project. And this came about because my lovely friend, Suzanne at Green Lampkin Yarn, is doing a year-long blanket club this year. That's what it's called. secret treasure box. So it's going to be an eclectic mix of beautiful sparkling colours all through the year. You get, how many do you get? 1, 2, 3, 4 mini skeins of DK weight yarn every month. So I have now made up and tied together all of my hexagons for the skeins that I got in January. I'll tell you about the pattern in a second. So I've got that one, and that one. That really does look like jewels in a treasure box, doesn't it? And then these ones remind me of like the sea. And Phoebe said this one reminds her of mermaids, which was so cute because she's 13 and she doesn't say things like mermaids and unicorns and things anymore. So I was like, it does look like mermaids. So I've made each little DK mini skein. I've managed to get one, I think it was 5 full-sized hexies out of, and then a half as well. And the pattern I'm making is the Weekender blanket by, again, Sandra Paul of the Cherry Heart podcast. I will link the pattern underneath. It's paid for pattern, and I don't normally make the kind of pattern where you make lots and lots of motifs and then join them together. It's not really my bag, but because it's a year-long thing and I have a limited amount of yarn each month to work with, I actually think I'm going to love it because I really enjoyed just working through those 4 mini skeins, and I've joined them together, and I've used the stitch marker that came with the first lot to put a little thing to remind me that these were the January ones. I don't know why that's important, because when I bring them all together, they're going to be all, you know, mixed up. But I just wanted to remember. So that's all the January ones. And I am using a 4mm hook, and I treated myself to a nice tulip. It's got a particular name, hasn't it? Does it say on it? It's a tulip something or other. It's the one where it's gold. I don't know why I'm showing you a hook. It's a tulip hook, which I usually just buy off a seller on eBay. And what did I want? There was something else I wanted to say about it. Oh yes, the pattern has instructions for join as you go. So if you want to join the hexagons as you go, you can, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to join them at the end because I want to join them with single crochets and have a kind of raised join. So I love how that looks personally. I just love how that looks. And there are also options for having the jagged edge, you know, where all the hexagons will create a kind of triangle edge at one end, or you can make filler hexagons to make sure you've got straight edges on all sides. And then there's also the half hexies for down the edge. I'm describing it so badly. I'll link it underneath and you can go and have a look at all the details. Anyway, I don't have the February one because it arrived and I opened it and I thought, oh, these are gorgeous. I was looking through them again, and then Phoebe, who was with me, again said, that one looks like a mermaid. And I was like, oh, it's very similar to the other one. And then I realised lovely Suzanne had accidentally sent me the 4 mini skeins for January again. So I texted her and she was like, oh, bum. So my February ones are on the way and you'll see them next time. But it means, because I said to her, right, I'll send these back to you. And she said, no, use them for a giveaway. So I've taken the label off, but I will stick it back on. So this is going to form a little extra prize for the Cosy Winter Blanket Along, which I'll draw shortly. Okay, what else do I need to say? Oh, right, yeah, I made a little note here saying I know that I've not mentioned my Christmas jumper. The Christmas jumper year-long project of 2023 that ended in disaster. I will link the video underneath so you can see what happened, and I do need to get back to it. But at the moment I'm in the process of unravelling it or frogging it, and it's taken me forever. And because I've got blankets on the go and things that I want to make, the frogging of something doesn't seem as fun, but I will do it. I will do it. The Christmas jumper will get knit this year. In 2024 it will. Have I made progress on anything else? No, so I'm going to leave everything else. I've got other projects that I'm sure you're like, well, what's happening with that? But the answer is nothing is happening with that. I've made no other progress on things other than the stuff I've shown you. So I want to move on and draw some prizes for the Cosy Winter Blanket Along. But before I do that, I'm going to talk about Serious Lights, who are sponsoring this video. And what do sponsors mean? continued content and discounts and offers for all, including me. It's not the world's best catchphrase, is it? It's not. What do points mean? Prizes. What do sponsors mean? Content. So this video is sponsored by Serious Lights, and I'm sure if you've watched any of my videos on this channel or my other channel on This Little Wonderful Life, which I don't think I mentioned at the beginning, but that's linked underneath as well. I have a vlogging channel where I do things like daily vlogs and stuff about reading and books. You will have seen me using this, bumping my head on it, moving it out the way, and it's just very much part of my crafting life. And as we move into the lighter part of the year and we move away from the darker evenings, I actually find that I probably use it even more because there's more light about in the day. If I'm working on stuff in the day, I really notice how poor quality the light is when I get to the evening and I've just got like an overhead light or another lamp on or something, if that makes sense. Not that I enjoy the extended daylight. I am one of those weird people that actually prefer the darker half of the year, but that's a whole other video, probably one that I've already made on my other channel because I do feel like I go on about that a lot. So the Serious Lights range consists of the high definition light, which is the one I have, the Alex light and the classic light. It's great for working on fine detail. I can move it about, so I either have it here, usually if I'm working in the morning, and in the evening, if we're watching telly, I move it because I've got the lightweight base. You can get a heavyweight base or a lightweight base. I move it across to the other sofa and then I can shine my light, focus exactly on what I'm doing without disturbing anyone else. It's great for things like when I'm drawing or working on cross stitch or when I'm working with dark yarn or just when the light is poor. And all of the Serious Lights come with a 5-year warranty, which is amazing. And not only that, but I have to say I'm really fussy when it comes to picking brands who offer to sponsor. I say no to most of the emails I get, but there's been a few companies that I've been really happy to work with. Serious Readers is one because they are a UK-based company. They have been on the go for 35 years. It started with just one light that the founder made for his mother, and they're still going strong. They're still hand-built in the UK. And from what I hear from you, because I know a lot of you have ordered them, that you either already had one or you had ordered one because of the offer, which I'll talk about in a minute. Their customer service is second to none and they are just lovely to work with. So I feel really proud to be able to sort of support them and work with them. The most important thing is you've got £100 off with my offer code, which is on the screen now, and I'll put a link underneath. You get £100 off all high definition lights. This is international as well, so you can get £100 off internationally. Within the UK, it's free delivery, but there will be delivery fees that apply internationally. But all of the delivery fees internationally are under £100. So effectively, you'll be getting free delivery plus still a discount, if that makes sense. It's all linked underneath. Thank you so much, Serious Lights, for sponsoring this video. Okay, let's draw some prizes. Now, I've put here that it's finished and it's time to draw prizes, and that maybe I will do a montage to music of some of the blankets, which I may hate myself for when I come to edit. So if I've had time to do a montage to music of some of the blankets that have been posted across Instagram and Ravelry, I will do that now. If that does not appear, it is because I've had some kind of editing crisis or something else has happened and I just haven't had the time. But I really hope that you're about to watch a montage.
The sun is coming up, are you ready to go? We can take a ride, we can take it slow. Your will is my law, I'ma let you be the boss, 'cause I'll go where you go. I'll take you to a place we can see it all. Step off the edge, I can break your fall. Your will is my law, I'ma let you be the boss, 'cause I'll go where you go. When you fall down, I'll get you back up again. The things you try are things that you won't regret. We are kings of the world, and tonight is our playground. We are kings of the world, and anywhere it's are kings of the world. And tonight is our playground. We are kings of the world. And anywhere it's homebound, we are kings of the world.
Okay, so either you've enjoyed a lovely montage or I'm just still sitting here staring at the camera. But either way, I have cobbled together some prizes and I've drawn I drew a winner at random from the Instagram hashtag. Shorty is drawing a winner at random from the Ravelry group. And then of course I had additional, so I'm gonna have to draw some other winners. So I have got a lovely big bag with owls on it, hoot owls. This was made by lovely Julie. She sent me lots of lovely bags to use as giveaways and I've still got loads of them. This is so lovely. It's got lovely yellow lining. It's not interfaced with stiff interfacing, so you can fit loads in there and it feels like, you know, it will just keep expanding and expanding. You've got loads of room in there for your next blanket project. And I thought that this beautiful yarn from Ducky Darlings, which was donated to give away as a prize, went really well with it. And doesn't that look really springy as well, that combination? So that is the first prize. And I already drew a winner. And that was Chicken Petal Crochet on Instagram. Her name is Louise, and I've put a little note here saying sun gold blanket. So I think that means she was making the sun gold blanket like me, which is really good. I will try and put a picture up of whatever she was working on the screen. And then I had to draw another winner, and the person that came up was a yarn dyer. So then I was a bit like, oh, what do we do with that? Do we give hand-dyed yarn to another yarn dyer? And then I was like, well, why wouldn't we? Because they're not always going to want to use their own yarn, are they? And that was lovely Sophie at Pixie Yarn. And then I went and had a look, and she's going to be at East Anglia Yarn Festival. So she won't see this, but I'm going to see her before this is published on YouTube. So I think I'm going to take it with me and present it to her at her store, and she's not going to know why I'm giving her yarn. I'm going to have to go and explain to her that she won a prize, and I will put a picture up of the blanket that she was working on. From memory, she was working on a lovely knitted blanket, but I could be wrong. So yeah, so that was Sophie at lovely Sophie at Pixie Yarn. Lovely Sophie at Lovely Pixie Yarn. Yeah, so I'm going to take this with me and present it to her. I will put it with my scarf that I will be wearing so that I don't forget. And I will wrap it up and I will put like a little pin and some other bits with it as well to make it all lovely. So those are the winners. So Chicken Petal Crochet on Instagram. Hopefully you are watching this video. Please get in touch with me via email, littledropsofwonderful@gmail.com. Give me your address and I will get this posted out to you. I don't know where in the world you are, but it can go anywhere. It will travel. So if you're sad that the Cosy Winter Blanket Along is over, don't fret, because there is another make along incoming. I just need to sneeze. That's done. By the way, if you're wondering, I have no news to share with you about the house opposite. Usually when I'm filming a podcast, there's all kinds going on, but it's very quiet over there. I can tell you, they haven't had the front of the house painted yet, but they have got windows. They've gone for grey. They look quite smart. I'm sure they'll look better once they've got the painting done. So yeah, they have got windows, but yeah, no vans today. Very quiet out there. No DPD delivery, DPD deliveries. No Amazon man. I can't speak. Anyway, it's very quiet out there. There's nothing to report on. Anyway, that's all an aside. The Dodgy Bag MAL is back. We run this every year with Claudia at Crochet Luna, also known as Claudia Carpenter Designs. This year it's a little starting a little bit earlier, and we've got a good couple of months to work on our bags. I will explain all about it now. It's going to start on the 1st of April and run until the 5th of June. And the idea of the Dodgy Bag MAL is that we encourage everybody to sew bags and not worry about perfection. The name comes from, so when I first started sewing bags, I've got a few tutorials on this channel about sewing bags, and if you watch those you will see that my way of sewing is not in any way professional. It's all mainly made up and it's a bit haphazard, but I still end up with perfectly usable and lovely project bags, and I just started calling them dodgy bags because they were always a little bit dodgy. There was always a bit of a seam that was wonky, or the zip wasn't quite right, or the top stitching was a bit wrong, or or didn't match up, and there was always something wrong. There always still is something wrong with anything I sew, and I called them dodgy bags. But the point of it is that doesn't matter. No one's going to look that closely, and if you're making it for a friend, they're going to love it. If you're making it for yourself, you're going to love it and feel proud of yourself. And the whole idea of the Dodgy Bag Make Along is that you sew bags and you just do it, and you don't worry about the perfection of it or thinking that it needs to look like Instagram perfect or anything like that. So I will link all of my, I can't remember how many I've got now, 2, 3 sewing tutorials in the description box. I'm going to set up a Ravelry thread this afternoon, so that will be ready for you to go and start chatting. There is a permanent bag sewing chatter thread in my Ravelry group, and it's really active all the time. People chatting just about bags and tips for making and patterns and so on. But I will do a combined chatter and finished objects thread for this specific MAL, and there's also the hashtag. Claudia is going to draw a winner from the hashtag, and I am going to draw a winner from the Ravelry group. So you can either use the hashtag on Instagram, or you can go and chatter or post FOs in the Ravelry thread, and that will be how you enter the MAL. I would highly recommend going to look at the Ravelry thread. There's a lot of help there, especially I'll link as well the existing sort of bag making chatter thread. Everyone's so friendly and so helpful, and also use some of my tutorials because they will really handhold you through making a perfectly imperfect dodgy bag. We are going to do a Zoom event again like we did last year, which is not a live, but we will film, we will do a Zoom and you can join in, so you can sort of chat live with us, but it's not going to be on YouTube live, if that makes sense. It's like a knit and natter, but a sew bag and natter, just chat together about stuff. So we're going to do that again this year, but I don't know when that is yet. We've got to coordinate our diaries. And also, as an extra special that was hard to say, extra special element for this year, we are going to include the option, if you would like, it's not, it makes no bearing on whether or not you're entering. You don't have to be entered into the MAL to take part in this, and you don't have to take part in this in order to enter the MAL, but we're going to do a swap. So there's going to be a Google form to sign up for this. It will be, the link to it will be underneath in the description. You need to sign up quite quickly by the 23rd of March, and then we will put swap partners together after then. And then you will make a bag and swap it with your swap partner, and it needs to be received by the 6th of May or sent by the 6th of May. It'll all be underneath in the description box, and I will put it all of this in the Ravelry thread first post as well, so you've got it all there. Claudia, I'm sure will have it all shared on Instagram as well, because she doesn't use Ravelry. Claudia's got her usual specially designed badge. It's going to be an acrylic one this year with a unique design especially for this year of the Dodgy Bag MAL. She does that every year. And I actually have some new pins coming, which I'm hoping will be with me by the end of the month. As soon as I have them, I'll let you know, but they are Dodgy Bag related. So I think that's everything you need to know about the Dodgy Bag MAL. I feel like this is going to be a long podcast. It's 9:30. Oh dear. I've been talking for a long time. Okay, let's move on and talk about some patterns that have come onto my radar in the last month. This is the point in the podcast where I start to think to myself that I've just been rabbiting on. I think I get to a certain point where I start to relax and think, okay, I'm chatting, I'm fine. And then suddenly think that the first sort of hour that I've been yabbering on, I've just been going at 100 miles an hour. I'll try and slow down a bit. So patterns on my radar is where I like to share patterns that I've either come, like someone has sent me a link to, or maybe someone's bought me a pattern, or they've come into my field of vision for for some other reason, and I write them all down and then I share them because I just really like talking about things that I might one day make. So the last time I spoke to you, I showed you a lovely skein of yarn, which I don't have here with me, which was given to me by Jules when I visited Preston with Lilia, who was on an audition at the time. And I shared a little story about my family connection to the city of Preston, and I asked for some ideas for anyone that knew of designers or patterns that might be related to Preston, because I thought it'd be a really good thing to make with the yarn that was given to me in Preston. And you came through. A few of you mentioned Lily Kate France. I even had a lovely email about this as well. So thank you if you commented, and thank you. I haven't replied to the email and I keep meaning to, so really sorry, I will do that. But thank you for emailing me. So Lily Kate France is a Preston-based designer. She is just 25 years old, but she has a huge portfolio of gorgeous designs. I don't know how she's had the time to put so many gorgeous patterns together. It says she's been knitting, I think she was 12 years old, so it's amazing. So she's obviously got quite a bit of experience. But there were a few things in her portfolio, well, there were more than a few. There was a lot of things in her portfolio of patterns that I was just blown away by. But for my single skein of yarn, I thought the Haslam scarf looked very appropriate. It is written for fingering weight or 4-ply. It uses about 750 metres or 410 yards, so that would be perfect for a single skein. It's a knitted pattern, it's £3.50. So I thought that would be really good, because then as much as socks would be lovely, it would be nice to be able to show it off and have it around my neck or on my head or on my hands or something. So I really like that. And then also she had, well, not for my single skein of yarn, for a sweater weight quantity of yarn, she has got the Slow Down sweater, which is a worsted weight baggy sweater with like balloon sleeves, but it's got this lovely kind of mohair lace neckline. Oh, I just love it. I love the colour she's used in the pictures as well. What a lovely pattern. I haven't written down how much that one costs, but I'll link it underneath. And then lovely Tanya Miller messaged to say, don't forget, I gifted you the Kindness Socks pattern, which is a Shorty sock pattern, and she is from about 6 miles outside of the city of Preston. So she would be the perfect person for Preston-based design. What am I trying to say? Perfect person from which to use a pattern related to Preston. So the Kindness socks are really beautiful shorties with a picot edge around the top of the cuff. They are toe-up socks with a short row heel, and they are £3.50, and they are really, really lovely. I'm not sure I want to go for socks though, and I do find that toe-up socks and what do I want to say? Short row heels don't really fit my weird, well, not weird. I just find that heel flap and gusset fits my feet better, but they are so beautiful. But they are £3.50, and I will link them underneath because they really are beautiful. And then somebody else suggested maybe making a very colourful Shaun the Sheep or grommet, as Nick Park, who's the creator of those, is actually from Preston. And I have a picture of me with the statue of Wallace and Gromit in Preston. And I can just imagine this, the baby Gromit inspired dog by Ellie Grace, would look absolutely adorable in those lovely neon sort of pops of colour in the yarn. This is written for any weight yarn. It's £4 and it's crochet. And it's adorable. Then some of you mentioned projects you were working on in the comments last time as well. And some of them really caught my eye, so I wanted to share them. So someone said they were working on the Beach Walk Mitts by Erica Loftin. It's a crochet pattern that is $5 US, which is about £4.10. It's written for fingering or 4-ply yarn, and it uses about 200 yards or 183 metres. So really, really good. You could get like a pair of these out of a half skein, and I really, really like them. And in the pattern, they sort of, you see lots of them made with scrappy yarn, and I really like those. So I really wanted to include those as something that had come onto my radar, because I love a quick mitt project. I've actually got a tutorial on my channel for a quick knit project for beginners as well. I will link that underneath. Been ages since I've made any kind of tutorial. Sometimes I can't believe I ever did that because it takes some brain power to put it together, and I'm like, when do I have brain power? But anyway, that's an aside. The beach walk mitts, very beautiful. And then someone else said they were working on the Jervis gloves. So I think that was, who was it? What was the name of your channel? I can't remember. I'll put it on the screen, but I was watching your vlog about this, and she was working on the Jervis gloves for her husband. It's a pattern by Alexandra Brink. Can't read my own writing. I think that's what it says, Brink. It's a knitted pattern. It's £5. It uses about 350 yards or 320 metres. And it's written for fingering or 4-ply weight. And it uses, or it recommends using, conductive thread for the fingertips. So you can still use your phone, still play solitaire when it's cold. And finally, someone said, oh, is it finally? Finally, someone said they were working on the Saturday Shrug, which I looked up. I think it's the one by Jackie Rose. It's a free pattern, it's knitted, and it is worsted and lace weight held together to make bulky. Love this, really love it. I wonder if I could hold a few of my single skeins of fingering weight together to make bulky. So if it's worsted, it would be maybe four skeins of, I don't know, I'd have to look it up on a conversion chart. But oh, I love it. Love that Saturday Shrug, so I wanted to mention that. And then that concludes everything. I've just got to finish up with "and finally" and all the little bits to mop up at the end, but that's going to take me long enough. So, first of all, I forgot in my last podcast episode to draw the winner for the Chroma Burst shawl by Sophie Herden at Spring Snowflake. Completely forgot, even though it was on my notes. So in my last video, my Making Week video, I drew the winner there. So if you would usually watch the podcast, but not the Making Week videos, please go and have a look. I drew the winner from the comments. So make sure you go and watch that to see if you're a winner, because I haven't heard from you yet. And also I've redrawn a couple of Strictly Sock Along winners. So there were some people that I had called as winners and I haven't heard from them. And it's been a couple of months now. And I always feel a bit awkward about what to do. Whether I should just, I don't know. But I do feel that the Strictly Sock Along is so connected with my podcast that if you've joined in, if you haven't watched the podcast by sort of now, then it's probably only fair to draw another winner, if that makes sense. So, anyway, okay. I won't try and justify it. It's what I've decided to do. So, the first prize that I've redrawn for is one pattern of the winner's choice from Lunesta Knit. And I will link her underneath so you can go and have a look. You can choose any of her patterns and let me know. And I'm going to also send you some yarn from the Knitting Swede and a mini as well from Midge Porter. This was donated as a prize. Oh, just love red and pink together. I've got 2 huge skeins of this myself that I want to make a cardigan out of. So that's the yarn prize, but you also get a pattern as well. So I redrew for that. The original winner was drawn from Instagram, so I did the same again this time. And I just went through, normally I just do it randomly, just do that. But this time I just went through and looked through all the images that came up with the hashtag and just picked ones that jumped out at me. So the first one that came up was Kim's True Colours. And it was really nice because I recognise Kim from the comments and from Instagram, and she made 9 pairs of Strictly socks. So she is a worthy winner. So Kim, if you are watching, please get in touch with me on my email, littledropsofwonderful@gmail.com. Give me your address and I will get that sent to you. In fact, are you local to me? Something in my head is saying you might be local to me. So if you'd rather, we could always meet up for a cup of tea in town and I can pass you the prize under the table in a brown envelope or something. And then the other one that wasn't claimed was a beautiful bag from Mouse in Paris. It's all in this, it's all safe in this bag. It's a gorgeous bag, and a skein of the beautiful Latin Love yarn, which was one of the official Strictly Sock Along colourways this year from Green Lumpkin Yarn. And also you get a pattern of your choice from Lunaster Knit as well. So I've redrawn for that. And the one that caught my eye was the dancing feet of Tammy Marshmallow. I did a screen record, so hopefully I'll be able to put it up on the screen here, of her doing her salsa dancing in her socks. It was brilliant. I can't play the music because of copyright, but they're actually dancing to the world's best awful Christmas song, which was released at Christmas in 2023, which was the new Christmas song by Cher. I hated it to begin with, and now I think it's possibly my favourite Christmas song of all time. It just gets stuck in my head. In fact, it's in my head now because I watched that video so many times this morning. Yeah, so Tammy Marshmallow, if you're watching, please get in touch because I thought your reel of your salsa socks was amazing. And then I've got a pattern that was not claimed, and it was any of the sock patterns by Clarissabeth at Crochet Cakes. She has got 10 patterns, crochet sock patterns available, so you've got a wide choice. So I redrew that, and again I chose one that really caught my eye, and it happened to be Tamara, who is Crafty Escapism. And she is a crocheter, she's a crochet teacher, and for the Strictly Sock Along she made crochet socks. So it couldn't have been a more perfect winner. So Tamara, you have won a crochet sock pattern of your choice from Clarissabeth at Crochet Cake. So please let me know which one you would like, and I will let Clarissabeth know. So those are my redrawing of prizes. What else do I want to say? Oh yeah, I've changed my avatar, did you notice? So ever since I've started on YouTube, I have had a little blue creature. And this little blue creature is called Jorge. And it was a pattern by Maffers, and it was one of the first amigurumi things I ever made. And it's not actually mine, I made it for my friend Kay, who's now a crocheter herself, who I used to work with. So I believe he goes on top of their Christmas tree every year. I don't know if that's still the case, but it certainly was for a while. Or was it that went on top of the Christmas tree, or something else I made her? I can't remember. I've made a few things for people which have ended up going on top of their Christmas trees. One of which was actually a Christmas tree topper of Jeremy Corbyn. That's a whole other story. But yes, so that little blue creature was that, and I will link the pattern to that underneath, so you can see what it looks like, and if you ever fancy making it. But I've changed it because I thought, after almost, not quite, 10 years on YouTube, perhaps I should actually use my face rather than hiding behind a little blue creature. So I've done that. So you might have noticed that my avatar has changed to this, which was just a screen grab from one of my thumbnails, which I put a little yellow thing around. So yeah, so if I look different, that's why I changed my avatar. And I think that's it. I think I need to stop waffling and start tidying up. I'm gonna film for you what it looks like at the end of a filming of a podcast. Oh dear, look, snotty tissues. Actually, this is quite tame, it's not too bad. Oh, this. Let's switch back to the screen. I picked, this is charity shop find that I bought ages ago, and it's just been hanging around in the living room because it's a hardback book and it's quite bulky. It doesn't fit with my other books waiting to be read upstairs, so it's just kind of been hovering down here. Bought it for £2. It's like brand new, it doesn't look like it's even been read. So whilst I was waiting for Phoebe to get ready to go to school this morning, I started reading it. I'm a bit hooked. So I need to finish my current eyeball read, so I can move on to this. But I will give you a book update in my next vlog on This Little Wonderful Life. But so far, I'm a little bit taken with this. I'm interested to see where it's going. It feels like it could get quite dark. So yeah, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to go and make another cup of tea. I'm going to tidy up, and I will see you next week with my East Anglia Yarn Show vlog. Until then, happy knitting, happy crochet, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.